What is up guys, my name is Ignas, welcome back to the channel. Turns out that October passed, so we are back with the dividend portfolio and Revolut update. I've added new money in, bought some stocks and received dividends. First we'll take a look into the transactions used on the app to check what was done and who paid dividends, and later we'll go into the portfolio tracker on Google Sheets to further check into the dividend progress and what should be the focus with next month's cash addition. Another thumbs up is greatly appreciated, and with that out of the way, let's start. So we have the transactions history for the month of October. On the first, an industrial's name FedEx paid, ticker symbol FDX, a dividend of $3.48. Then I've added $400 new in and bought stock in two names. One was Financial's Charles Schwab, ticker symbol SCHW. So for $200 got 2.15 of a share at $92.86 per share. And then Communication Services T-Mobile, TMUS, again $200, got 0.86 of a share at $233.51 per share. Later on we'll go into the portfolio tracker to check how these positions are performing. But now let's continue with dividends. So October 2nd, Consumer Staples paid Kimberly-Clark, ticker symbol KMB, plus $2.46. Then October 7th, Healthcare Merck, ticker symbol MRK, a dividend of $5.39. October 15th, again Healthcare, Thermo Fisher Scientific, TMO, 34 cents here. On the 17th, I have Medtronic, ticker symbol MDT, plus $4.32. Then on the 20th, Utilities paid Xcel Energy, ticker symbol XCL, dividend of $4.05. And the last dividend for the month was Communication Services, Comcast, ticker symbol CMCSA, another $2.77. So these were all the moves and the dividends for the month of October. And now let's take a look into the portfolio tracker on Google Sheets to further check into the dividend progress. So we are now in the tracker and the tab for monthly dividends. I've summed up the dividends that we received in October, and the sum came in at $22.81. Comparing it to what we saw a quarter ago back in July, with $28.67, we are down for around $6. But if we take a look into October of 2024, where the result was $17.80, we can find that we are up for almost exactly $5, or an increase of 28.1%. Now checking the sum for the year, we are currently at $252.09, so higher than previous year result of $237.57, currently up 6.1%, and we still have November and December to go. If these two combined will be close to $50, it seems that we will be getting to that goal of $300 in dividends for the year. Now let's take a look into the tab for dividend income. So we are not only interested how much in dividends we are receiving, but also what bills could be paid with it. Currently the portfolio should be bringing around $340 in dividends every month. This is the after-tax income, which comes in at an average $20.39 every month. So with that we can cover either the phone, internet or gym expenses, and we are now at almost 90% of covering clothing expense. Currently this is set at $32, though the largest expense is now groceries at $300. Currently we can cover 9.5% of that, and all the monthly expenses can be summed up to $608, so the dividends now cover 4.2% of it. So now that we've checked the dividends, let us go into the portfolio tracker. In October I bought stock in two names. One was Communication Services T-Mobile, ticker symbol TMUS. Currently we have 2.696 of a share. The average price of it is $185.45 per share. And currently the stock is trading at $209.46 per share. Cost basis on the position is almost exactly $500. And the position is worth $564.74. So we are up for $64.73. Which is an increase of 12.95%. Now T-Mobile is not the largest position in the portfolio, currently taking 2.55% of it, and it is 47.26% of exposure in the communication services sector. The stock is currently trading at a dividend yield of 1.72%, though I have bought into the stock at a bit lower price, so my yield on cost is 1.94%. And this position is bringing me $9.71 in dividends on an annual basis. Now, the another name that I've bought stocks in was in financials, Charles Schwab, ticker symbol SHW. Currently have 8.19 of a share. Average price on it is $61.04, though the stock went up nicely. Currently it is trading at $90.51, so my cost basis on it is exactly $500, and market value on this position is $741.40. This means that we are up for $241.40, which is an increase in the position of 48.28%. This is just a bit of a larger position, currently at 3.35%, though I have a few names from financials. So Charles Schwab takes 23.46% of exposure in the financial sector. The stock is now trading at a dividend yield of 1.21%, but we are up on it, with now a yield on cost of 1.8%. And this position, similarly to T-Mobile, brings $9.01 in dividends every year. So these two were the stocks that I've bought back in October. But there is one more name that I would like to bring up. It's from consumer staple sector Walmart, ticker symbol WMT. I have not bought into the stock recently, but it did have great performance. Currently we have 8.4 of a share in it. Average buying price was $47.54, though now the stock is way up at $105.42. So the cost basis on this position is $400, and right now the market value is $886.20. So we are up more than we paid for it, currently looking at a gain of $486.20, which is in turn an increase of 121.55%. Now this is again a larger name in the portfolio, it takes up 4.01% of it, and it is 54.30% of exposure in the consumer staple sector. The stock is trading at a dividend yield of 0.89%, and the yield on cost here is 1.96%. So the stock is bringing $7.83 in dividends on an annual basis. Now summing up the dividends, we have reached the $400 before tax mark. Currently the portfolio should be bringing $400.74 in dividends every year, which is a 1.81% yield on the portfolio, though we do have it in the green. So the yield on cost would be 2.42%. And if I remove the 15% that will be my dividend tax, I am left with those $340.63, which I am allowed to put where I want, though of course it will be reinvested back into the dividend portfolio. Going further down, the portfolio is now worth $22,120.02, and we have deposited $16,580. So we are currently looking at a gain of $5,540.02, which is in turn an increase of 33.41%. So we have checked how the portfolio is performing, but I would also like to find out where are we putting the cash with next month's cash addition. So in October we increased exposure in two market sectors. One was communication services with T-Mobile. Currently we have $1,194.96 in this sector. That is 5.4% of the portfolio, and we have a target of 6%, so we are just a bit below target. And we also increased exposure in financials with Charles Schwab. Currently we have $3,159.63 there. Financials takes 14.28% of the portfolio, and the target is set at 15%. Again, just a bit below target. I currently have two market sectors that we are above target. Consumer staples with $1,632.18, 7.38% with a target of 6%, and industrials with $3,222.57, 14.57% of the portfolio with a target of 13%. So these two aren't going to be the focus, but it seems that one candidate could be information technology. We currently have $5,154.51 there. That is 23.3% of the portfolio, which is 0.7% below target at 24%. So next month's cash addition will likely go into information technology, or it could also be financials, where we are similarly 0.7% below target. And so that was it with the dividend portfolio and Revolut update for the month of October. If you would like to get into more details, or potentially use this portfolio tracker for yourself, you can access it free of charge by following the first link at the top of the description. All I ask in return is supporting the channel and leaving a thumbs up under the video. Previously I've made a comparison on a few dividend paying names, so if you would be interested in that, then click on a video that is currently on the screen. And that was it from my side, thank you for watching and I'll see you all in the next one.
Dividend dreams building up.